It was awesome. We were there 4 years ago as well, but I think this was even better. I had an absolute blast. It was tons of great bands, really cool fans, and I mean it's a metal party on the seas. It's ridiculous. It's just weirdest idea of all time, but it works out, you know. Wow. So, and I think everybody enjoyed the hell out of it. No, you have to be.
Oh, you have to be?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody's there for the duration. It's like it's 4 full days, you know, or 5 days. Yeah. And all the bands played 2 sets, and then we have a day off, like or a half a day, land in Mexico. Beautiful beaches, you know, went scuba diving, stuff like that. Awesome, and then back to work again. But it's so much fun, and there's no backstage. There's no kind of band area, so all the bands are with all the fans. Yeah.
Chat with them.
Yeah. And I got to hang out with some of my absolute favorite bands, you know, and it's really cool. Like,
we have to go there
yeah, for sure. It took some time to actually recover from it, like trying to remember all those people I've met and things that we talked about and stuff like that. So it took me like 2 or 3 days to just, what the fuck happened? You know, it's so many memories and so many great experiences. It's yeah, physically it's like holy shit, what happened here? But at the same time, this is more normal for us, you know. But I guess it's been worse, right? A couple of weeks ago or something like that, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, we had like -20, -30, something like that. So right now we're just like,
no,
it's okay, it's perfect.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, we're okay with this.
All right.
We left Sweden before the snow started as well, so this is kind of like, oh, cool, first snow of the year. It's been awesome. The European tour went really well. We had a blast. The audience was fantastic, and some really cool shows. And then we just took some time off for Christmas and all that. And then Latin America and South America was incredible as always. Crazy crowds, you know. Awesome food, and the weather wasn't bad either. You know. I think that's the best review you can get. We played tons of new stuff, and everybody wanted more. You know, so that's as good as it gets when it comes to reviews in my book. You know, so that's it's been really cool. I think the new songs work really well on stage as well. We tried out a few different ones. You know, try to figure out what works best. But yeah, we're super happy with it. It's really hard. We've been working on it. Actually, like in Europe, we did a different set, and then for South America we kind of changed it, and then now we're changing it a little bit more. So it's super difficult because you keep thinking, like, of course people want to hear certain songs, you know, some of the, I wouldn't say classics, but songs, you know, that people expect. Same time you want to play something more obscure, like on a deeper cut or something like that, or perhaps that doesn't work either. So it's like you keep trying, you know, and it's fun. Sometimes it takes a week, and sometimes it takes months, as in this case. So we'll see. You know, we're still working on it. Well, it is definitely the same kind of vibe that we had when we made Projector. We felt like after the last 3 albums, we were like, where did we go from here? Like, they've been like progressively more intense, you know, and it's like you try to perfect that sound that we kind of created in the beginning, but we didn't really know where to go next. Like, we can't do just another album. We don't want to repeat ourselves, because that's the worst, you know, that's the death of creativity and everything like that. That's the last thing you want to do. So we had to figure out a way to kind of still do something that we love, but different. So the process was that we started writing in a different way, you know, writing in the studio instead, and also not being all of us at the same time, just starting with like 3 people, like putting together all the material that we've amassed over the last couple of years, and just see if we can come up with something. And then progressively we started, like, everybody started kind of contributing, and then finally we're like, wow, cool, we have an album. But we never rehearsed the songs. We started playing them after the record was done, and we never done that. It just wasn't even in our minds to be able to do that, but it worked out. And the way we wrote was was faster and more creative and more experimental and very, very satisfying. So once we finished this album, we were like, oh, we made it. And it's like there were times, where we thought perhaps we won't make it. Perhaps we will have to wait another year or something like that. But it actually worked, and super, super happy with it. Desperation, I think. Yeah, or fear and frustration, and almost like where we just felt like there's no way we can do this. We don't want to even. We don't want to go back to writing the way we did because it was so exhausting. Like it, we will go under rather than just go back to do the same old thing, because we don't want to repeat it ourselves. We don't want to be that band, just same old. So it's just, we can't do it. We have to get away with it from it. So that drove this change, and I think that was good. But it was tough to do. Like it was tough for a couple of months, or years even, where we went like, how do we get out of this? But we found a way. Absolutely, for me, it's definitely like that. It's like it deals with a lot of difficult stuff that I went through and that we went through. But it's not a negative thing, It's like this is what happened. This is what we went through, and this is how I felt. And now let's move on. Start again, like find something new to kind of focus on. And so it's definitely cathartic in that sense for me, and it was extremely difficult to write. It took forever, but once I finished it and like I'm done with it, it felt so good. Like you get that weight off of your shoulder, and finally, I could see things differently, and like it really, really made a huge difference in my life, like on a personal level, to kind of get it done and get it out of my system. I think it's a combination of more extensive touring that we do, and also I guess this time around because it was just difficult to kind of get started writing. Like once we started writing, it was pretty quick, but before that it's like it took time, But I think it is because of the touring that we've been doing the last couple of years. It's been longer and longer, and, which is cool. People want to see us, so we go, Like a crash course in DT. I don't know. I'd probably always go with the latest, like, listen to Construct. It's awesome. You will get it immediately and be a fan for life. And then you go back 20 years and you find out that what we did back then, and you love that too. I don't know. It's weird. I think that it's for other people who like, because every time I speak to someone, they always have a different favorite album, and it's always the first one they ever heard, right? Or normally. I go like, I love Haven because that's how I discovered your band and stuff like that. So it's always like that, and it's the same with me. Like all my favorite albums are the first albums that I heard by bands, So I wouldn't know what that would be. Perhaps start from the beginning. It's not a bad start either. Of course, there's been changes. Like at one point, it became very, very popular and kind of like, ooh, wow. Like, and that was mid-90s, I guess, and people were like, holy shit, this is new, and everybody wanted to play the same kind of music. And I remember being frustrated over that. It was just, why? What? I mean, because the reason we started a band was to be original and be unique. And all of a sudden, all the bands were kind of copying the style that we thought was unique. And it's like, then we made, perhaps it was a mistake, or we were just frustrated with it. And of course, when we started, like there was no melodic death metal to speak of, and people were kind of upset. The more hardcore death metal guys were like, "What's going on here? What are you doing? Like, you can't incorporate, harmonies and melodies into death metal. What's going on?" So, like, it was really kind of tough at first, but we were confident that what we were doing was right, and we were like, doesn't matter. We don't care. It was not about success for us. It was not about kind of world domination or anything like that. It was just, hey, we want to play, and this is the music that we love. So obviously, yeah, in the 90s that happened, and that became kind of like a thing for us to. I remember just being super frustrated with it. I was like, oh, that means it's not interesting anymore, you know, because we're not unique anymore. Then why would we want to make music? So that kind of sparked when we did Projector. That was kind of like the mindset. We want to get away from our own sound, so to speak, because it just wasn't challenging enough. And now I think I'm way more comfortable with it. I'm just happy about the fact that what we did back then has kind of resonated and kind of made an impact somehow, or at least people dig it, you know, and get it. And so I'm really proud of the fact that we never really had to compromise. We never had to change our ways to be kind of more accepted or anything like that. We just kept going. Eventually people got it, you know. And now I guess, like, now the kind of the melodic death metal scene is very different, you know. It's tons of new bands doing all kinds of stuff, so I don't know, to me it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just genres and stuff like that are insignificant. I just listen to whatever is fantastic and I'm fine with that. Wow, I wouldn't know. Like, I know some of the bands from around here that are awesome, and it's definitely, yeah, as you say, like more on the technical side from here. Whereas I guess we started out with like traditional heavy metal as a inspiration, you know, when we started. So perhaps that's a difference. But I don't know, like the influence of, I don't really see it. Like, I hear it every time I talk to someone, like, influences, like, but it doesn't really get to me that much, you know, because this is all I know. Like, I was 14, 15 when we started the band, and that's all I've been doing ever since, more than half my life. So it's like, and of course, when someone talks about the scene in Gothenburg, we're talking about all my friends. So it's kind of weird. I don't really have the capacity to kind of view it objectively, or kind of to kind of see the actual influence of it. I can hear when people tell me about it, but still doesn't really get stuck, you know, because it's too weird. I think we thought so at first, at least. You know, we were like, oh, now we go to America, now we have to be cool and play the heaviest songs that we could in our catalog and stuff like that. But it turned out that's not what people wanted. So we just stuck to being ourselves and did our, you know, the stuff that we liked, and that worked. That was good enough. And I think it was kind of exotic, you know, for a lot of fans in America, like to have bands from Sweden and Scandinavia coming over, you know, so no, I guess we thought we were gonna have to adapt, but we didn't have to, so it was all good.
So
should I kind of fuel the flames of rivalry here and say, oh, the Montreal crowd is awesome and Quebec sucks?
Actually, just be really honest. Which one is your favorite city to play in? And it's like you can't say something else than Montreal.
But it really is a tough call. Like, I remember first time coming up here. We've been on a long tour in America, and we were kind of getting tired of everything looking the same. And all of a sudden, we come to Montreal. Or if it was Quebec the first time, the first day, we were like, holy shit! It's like being at home in Europe again, you know. And it's so amazing, and we were so happy. Like, and the shows that we've had here have been incredible, and America is great. Like, it's amazing, but here we get this kind of passion that we only see in crowds in Europe, you know. So I have video from every show we've done in Montreal, I think, because a friend of ours always films them. So I have, like, it's recorded. And I sometimes watch them. I go, and I show them to my friends and my girlfriend and stuff like that, and they go like, "Holy shit, what's going on here?" So it's always been fantastic. And I can't say that I favor certain places. I mean, obviously Quebec and Montreal are different from Toronto a little bit, but Toronto is amazing too. I really look forward to going there. But I was telling the Omnium Gathering guys, who are our support band for this tour, and they'd never been here, and I was like, fuck, we gotta get to Montreal, it's gonna be awesome, we're gonna love it. And we get here super late, it's already dark, and they haven't seen nothing. So, but last time we were here, we had a day off, so we had one whole day of just hanging out in the whole city and just partying and watching shows, meeting a lot of friends and people. So I do. This is my favorite part of North America, without a doubt. No.
So why is that?
We don't want to. I mean, sure, it would be great to just have some time off for sightseeing or whatever, and kind of. But at the same time, we tour so much that I want to minimize the days where I don't have to be away from home. You know, I want to be home with my family as much as possible. So having a day off just means one less day that I'm at home. It's one thing to be working, fine. But if we just have a day off, then it's, yeah. I'd rather have those days off at home. You know? So we try to kind of keep going. And it's also sometimes it's just frustrating because you get into a mode where you're just like, oh, today's the show, and you miss the adrenaline of being on stage. You miss the kind of the rush and the sweat and everything like that. And if you don't get it, you go like, huh, weird, you know.
It kind of breaks the pace.
Yeah. Breaks the momentum, something. And yeah, I think we have 2 days off on this tour or something like that. Yeah. And they also just travel there. We just sit on the bus and drink beer. Yeah, sure. I mean, in the beginning it was like for me, like just growing up and trying to become a death metal singer. It was like Milo and David Vincent, I think were my 2 biggest heroes, and Rogga from what the fuck, Merciless from Sweden, that I thought was fantastic. But so that was an early influence, and then lyrically it was like Martin Valker from Sabbath, bands like that. But then lately, anything that's passionate and heartfelt and honest influences me. I listen to a lot of progressive rock, stuff like that. Toronto band, Rush is my all-time favorite, and Neil Peart is my favorite lyricist. I think like his everything that he writes, it's incredibly inspiring to me. Sure, I mean, one of my all-time favorite albums is Grace by Jeff Buckley. I think that's an album that I always go back to for kind of inspiration and just willingness to sing and stuff like that. And it's hugely influential album on me. I hope we get to see our hometown sometimes. Yeah, but no, it's gonna be cool. Like ton of touring. This year is pretty much fully booked, you know, more or less, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and going to travel to new cities, and this is like definitely a world tour. We're going to China next, and then we do Australia, then we do Israel, then we do Tunisia. So it's like all parts of the world on this tour.
You're booked for how much time?
We'll be home in April, and then we do summer festivals and stuff like that for a while, and then we're coming back to North America again after the summer. So it's going to be a long haul, and then probably we do something in December in Europe, and yeah, we'll see.